Yo, what's up, everybody? This is Ced for CeditUp production.
Whatever you're doing, just don't block
Hold on
the
one second.
doorway. Don't block my
Don't
doorway.
touch my shit. Don't.
Hold on one second. Wow. Yeah, this is CeditUp production. We back again doing the Shot-Town Bear Down with my boy Reese and Terry in the building. We waiting on Marcus to come on, but he'll be here a little bit later. But we got my guys in here right now about to talk about some bear talk right now. How you guys doing?
Doing good, man.
Doing well, Ced. How about yourself, bro?
Man, I'm good, man. And we finally could talk about something other than, well, we're going to talk about that anyway, regardless, other than the quarterback or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But, I mean, this is going to wear me out, man. We got, what, 2-3 more months?
3.5 months.
Right.
Man, this is crazy, man. I mean, I'm going, I said every day I say, I'm not going to say nothing about it today. I'm like, let's talk about something else. Let's talk about something else. Then somebody posts on something. It gets me going, man. It gets me going. It gets me going. But what we're going to do is go talk about today. We're going to talk about the new offensive coordinator the Bears hired. Shane, what's his name? Shane. What's his name? Warden. Is it Shane Warden? Shane. We're going to call him Shane until we get this together. You know what I'm saying?
You're on the first name basis with him.
Right.
Right.
We talk about Shane. SW.
Right.
SW until we get it right. You know what I'm saying?
Shane Waldron.
Waldron. Okay, Shane Waldron. When you guys first heard this, because it just came out like early today or yesterday that it came out that he got hired. Your first reaction when you heard that he was the guy, what was your first impression or your first thought? We'll go start with you, Reese. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I was happy because of the fact that at least we got somebody with some experience this time. You know, too many years we're getting somebody who has no experience. This is their first time doing a job. So the fact that he's done it before and also he did it, you know, with a successful organization, I thought that was pretty solid.
What about you, Terry? When you first heard the news, what your thought process was on it?
A little bit, to be honest, a little bit disappointed because I think it seems like they rushed it. You know, with all of the candidates out there, it just seems like they knew what direction they wanted to go in. And, you know, sometimes being transparent is the best, especially dealing with a fan base like Chicago. It just seemed like they rushed it because there are a bunch of, I think, better qualified coordinators out there. But, I mean, we can get into that later. But to be honest with you, firsthand, it was a little bit of disappointment. But after checking it out and seeing what he's done, at least he has the experience. You know, we weren't hiring a passing coordinator or a towel boy as they've done in the past.
Well, it was because when I heard it, because you know there was like two candidates that kept on coming up. You know what I'm saying? You had one was it Greg Roman?
Yep.
And the other coach that actually coached Caleb Williams. I'm not going to chop up his name neither. Like, I mean, because these names is killing me, man. It can't be no simple. It can't be simple.
Cliff Kingsbury.
Okay, yeah. And so when those two names went out there, whatever, so everybody's try to try to match up. If they sign him, they're going this way. If they sign him, it's going this way. You know what I'm saying? So when it actually when the news came about, it was like, okay, this threw a monkey wrench at everybody's program. Oh, you got your dog out. Bow down.
He won't let he won't let me do anything. I'm trying to do this, and he is all up in it.
But when they made that decision to go Shane way, I mean, it threw everybody off. So now it's like you don't know what area they go in as far as with the quarterback, whatever. So when that actually out of the, because Shane was like the top offensive coordinator that everybody actually wanted, like other teams wanted. But when you start hearing the rumors about Caleb Williams, old coach, being like the top, because everybody started talking about it. What was your thoughts on that? Do you think they was going to pull the trigger and they was going to roll with him, or did you think it was just blowing smoke? Let's go with you, Terry.
I think that was just a name thrown out there to kind of pacify the Caleb Williams camp. Maybe not. But you got to remember, and I know you don't watch a whole lot of college football, but Cliff Kingsbury wasn't even the OC at USC. Oh. He was a consultant. He was like a game day coordinator. So he didn't directly, have anything to do with the play calling. He was just part of the staff as a, I guess as an ex-pro and an ex-college coach. But one thing that I feared that, because the one thing that was pointed out, he has not really been a successful coach. He was not successful at Texas A&M. I mean, he's coached a bunch of the who's who quarterbacks, but he hasn't really been successful where he's been. So, that was kind of a red flag to me.
What about you, Reese?
Well, see, the thing that I like is that this guy's versatile. He's not a style coordinator. I think one of the things we got in trouble with even Gessie had one style that he ran, and he's always trying to find a quarterback to fit his style.
Hey, Reese, I'm sorry, Reese. I think he's talking about Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah.
He's not talking about the Waldron. He's talking about Cliff Kingsbury.
Right.
We're gonna get to Walton. We'll get to him.
Yeah. Right. That's why I was against Kingsbury or anybody that was specialized. Because I'm tired of. We talked about it a little bit last time. I don't want a coordinator that only has one style, is not versatile. He got to find a quarterback to fit his style. I want a coordinator that can get creative no matter what type of quarterback he has. So that's why and I said it last time, I'm not a Caleb fan. I even did some research because I don't watch a whole lot of college football either. But I looked at some film and some highlights, and I'm thinking, everybody's highlights look great, but I'm looking at a smaller, slower version of what we have already. So I want somebody that's going to be able to, either mold Fields, and develop him if he, we stick with him. But if we happen to get Caleb, I want somebody's going to be able to take him and get the best out of him as well.
Gotcha. I mean, my thing is, when that name came up, I was like, "Oh, my guy gone." I was always thinking, like, my guy gone, because here's the thing is about the Justin Field thing. I like him, but it's not even. But I like the receiver. The fact of not getting that receiver, Marvin Harrison Jr., makes me feel some type of way, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what I want them to get. I want them to pair him with because we never really had a dominant receiver. Like, I don't watch college football, but I've been watching this highlight, and I've been hearing a lot of things about him. So to move on from getting to him, and you already got a quarterback, that's my whole thing. I didn't want them to get Caleb and then not get a chance to get Marvin Harrison Jr., you know what I'm saying? So that's my whole thing. If you could give me Caleb and Junior, oh yeah, I'm down with that. But if I had to pick one or the other, I'm staying with Justin Fields. That's the only reason I was going that route. You know what I'm saying, as far as with that. But I just think Justin Fields is just a better athlete. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to certain things, he could get out of trouble and stuff like that. Like I said, I don't watch college football, so I'm not too keyed in on Caleb Williams and what he does good, what he does great, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I get ridiculed for that because I don't know. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? What y'all guys think? Go with you, Reese.
See, I kept an open mind, because I want great. You know, I would love to have a franchise quarterback that's have us in the playoffs with a shot for the next 10, 15 years, but that's a long shot. Once again, less than 50% of first round draft picks, make it, so I'm not willing to put all my eggs in one basket and then we mess around and get somebody that bomb when we could have turned that pick into, 2-3 other picks and another first round draft pick next year. And we still got, a quarterback who I'll say it again. We know what Justin's floor is. His floor is NFL quarterback, but his ceiling could be astronomical. You get him weapons and get him a coach that's going to actually be dedicated to him, because that's one of the things I think about Gessie. He wasn't Gessie's type of quarterback, so Gessie had no investment in him. He was more in love with Bajan.
and he made Bajan look like he was great for like 2 games. You know what I'm saying? Then people start, okay, so other teams start getting scouting reports and things like that. What he can't do. They knew he couldn't throw far. You know what I'm saying? So they put that pressure on him. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of changed things. T, what's your thoughts on it?
What was the question again? I'm sorry, because my mind drifted to something else.
Well, we were just talking about like as far as like the was we talking about the play calling? Who actually it fits?
Right.
Oh, you know what? No, I know Caleb Williams or Justin Fields. The one thing about going to Caleb, everybody throws this term out there, and I hate that term, generational quarterback, because you don't know they're going to be generational until they retire.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes 10 years to figure it out. And what I mean by figure it out, what your legacy is going to look like. I mean, we look at Mahomes right now going into, I think this is his 8th season and his 7th, or is it 6th? Because I know it's something, I think it's his 7th season. And, he was definitely not considered a generational talent, but then you can run down the generational talent list. And I mean, they're going to do it for the next 2.5 months. Mel Kiper came out with his 1.0 draft, and it's like, I want somebody to do a study on how many failed drafts he's predicted, or how many players he's failed in predicting as these generational quarterbacks. Because it's a laundry list of the Ryan Leafs, Jamarcus Russell, Heath Schuler. I mean, it's a bunch of quarterbacks out there that were drafted in the top 5 that he predicted as being great, and they turned out to be nothing. I mean, you know what you have when you know what you have in Justin. Build around him and build around his strengths instead of trying to bring somebody in and make him what he isn't. And the crazy part about it, and I'll close on this one, is that they talk about the type of offense that he ran in college. He ran a pro style system in college, but they turn around and run a college style program in the pros, which didn't make a whole lot of sense. He never really had any weapons. And I mean, you look at Darnell Mooney. Darnell Mooney was drafted to be his weapon. Yeah. You see how he fizzled out. I mean, you have to bring real players in. And I mean, it seems like everybody that Ryan Poles has well, not everybody, but most of the players, and Mooney included, he came out and sang his praise. He turned out to be a dud this year.
Marcus just joined the team. So what's going on? How you
what's
doing?
Up?
What up, man?
You're real low. Yeah, dude.
Hey, put another cord in the phone, Marcus. We can't hear you.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I had to unplug my microphone to be heard. That's backwards.
Like I said, I told you, if it ain't in the beginning.
Man, I went through a thing, Marcus, for about 5 minutes.
Fellas, I promise y'all, man, I did not know that my computer needed an update. So when I logged on, I said, I give it 10 minutes. I log in before 10 minutes, and it was like, you need an update, audio, whatever, bias, whatever. And then it went through this whole thing, man. I'm like, I didn't know what happened. So I finally was able to get in, had to reset some stuff. So my sincerest apologies, fellas.
Nice. It's cool. Let's catch you back up. I want to get your reaction when you first heard the news of the Bears' new hire of the offensive coordinator. What was your thought when you heard the news?
Who is he? My thoughts. I mean, like, who is this guy? And you have to actually do your research and find out who he is or what he do. And it's just like when you first posted, you asked the question, does this mean we keeping Justin or not keeping Justin? I mean, you can surmise, you can guess either way. You know, I don't know. The one thing I do know is I don't know. You figure maybe you know, Seattle, he's out there on the coast where Caleb Williams is, and maybe it's a guy who has a relationship with, and I'm just totally guessing now. I'm not smart enough to know that, but you would think that when you keep like you said, it can go either way. You keep the coach, you fire the quarterback coach and the offensive coordinator, and then you say, okay, well, if they're bringing in a new OC and a new QB coach, does that point to drafting Caleb Williams? And we like what Eberflus did with the defense, so we'll keep him for that. But we're going to get some new people in to develop a new guy. So maybe it points at drafting a quarterback. But you got Eberflus here. Maybe it points at keeping Justin Fields, and we'll get a new offensive coordinator and quarterback coach to further bring Justin on the way. So it's still throwing a dart in the wind, and like we're still guessing, and it's very early. Nobody knows.
Yeah.
Whatever it is that they do, it's a mystery, man. You like really don't. We're guessing. We're guessing. Like we don't know who this guy is and what's his strengths, and does he like to run the ball? Does he like to pass the ball? Is he? I mean, I honestly don't know.
I think they say he was like a mixture, but from my understanding, I think they say he was a mixture of. Yep. But I don't think he's the pocket. I don't think he's a pocket offensive coordinator. I don't think, because you know they had Geno Smith.
Yep.
He's coaching him and actually brought him back to life. Really, you know what I'm saying? So he had 2 good seasons in Seattle because they thought he was done. And when he was in New York or whatever, they thought he was completely done. So he went over there to Seattle and got him doing his thing, whatever. But Geno Smith is not a run quarterback, really, to me.
Right.
I mean, so I don't know what he's bringing to the table either, because anybody that they brought in, I won't go know him anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because we from Chicago, we don't know until they actually get here. You know,
I think a big one thing is for sure, as the free agency period picks up, the direction of the Bears, the direction they go, they pick up a Saquon Barkley, they pick up a guy like that. Like you said,
we'll talk about that later. But go ahead. We'll go ahead. No, go ahead.
Maybe it's a segue, because I'm sorry, I don't know what was discussed so far. So my apologies.
No, that's good.
Because it could depend on the direction they go in free agency as to help to determine to hire this particular coach.
Yeah,
he may be a run first coach, or
that's what he is. He's a run first coach.
Okay,
he's a ground attack coach, from what I understand.
That could definitely point to Justin Fields, in my opinion. Just simple eye test. Like I just didn't like the run first plays they made for Justin Fields. They set on top of that with this last guy. Like he's better off. Like if a play breaks down, he has to scramble and run. But the run first, I don't like those. And depending on who they grab you don't want to say his name now, but if they do draft him, maybe they'll either run into that guy and they'll concentrate on maybe a new quarterback, get the ball out to other weapons. So
yeah, it's just a mystery because we don't know, and we got like Terry said, like what, 2 months, 2.5, 3 months, you know, of this going through. But the good thing about it is the free agent starts first, and then like you said, once the free agent kicks off, you'll really know what angle they really going at. Because if they in the free agency they pick up now we could let's talk into the free agency, because I mean I think we kind of covered the things that I wanted to cover, because the thing was which quarterback fits this play calling of the new offensive coordinator. So we don't know. That's something we don't know. You know what I'm saying? So it was a part of the thing I was going to talk about. But let's talk about the free agency, because that's the thing I want to really talk about now, even in the group. Talk about the free agency, because that's going to happen first before the draft even kick off. What do you think they should go after first? Because it's a lot of holes that need to be filled. But what is the first hole that you're going to try to fill in first? Let's go with Terry. Let's go with you first, Terry.
Honestly, that's a tough one, because with all of they don't think they have many holes, but they have holes. They need a tackle. They need to move I forget, Braxton Jones. If they can move Braxton Jones to guard, reset Jenkins, and have Wright on the right side, they're gonna draft a center that solidifies them in terms of the offense. So it depends on, who's available and out there. I don't know if there are any, tackles out there worth investing into. Probably should just, they're fine with Braxton Jones, so I don't see them spending a whole lot of money. I'm sure they'll go out and draft the best one that's available at the draft position that they have. But you look at some of the free agents that are out there. You got Chris Jones. I don't know if he's too old to spend money on. That's the tackle from Kansas City. Mm-hmm. As soon as I saw that T. Higgins was an unrestricted free agent, I was on that, because you can use T. Higgins. T. Higgins is a young receiver, and if you keep Justin Fields and you figure out a way to trade back and get Harrison, that's a really good pair to pair with Justin Fields for the next 7 to 10 years.
Yeah,
so that's a good direction to go into.
And DJ Moore's not old. He's like 26.
No, DJ Moore is 30 now.
He is?
Yeah, I think he's 28, or he'll be going into his 30th. He'd be going into his 30th year of life either next year, because he did, in his exit interview with the media, he said that he wants to play at least 4 more years.
Let me look at that, because I thought he was younger than that.
Oh, he's 26 years old, Terry.
Oh, he's 26? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do that change your mindset?
Maybe like 30.
Because you keep him. You keep him and you bring in a T. Higgins. If you got a 3-headed monster at receiver with a good tight end, and you bring in Saquon Barkley, because don't forget, right now I think they have $60 million in cap space. They're gonna Oquan, or whatever his name is, the tackle that they signed for from Indianapolis, he's gone. You got Eddie Jackson's $15 million coming off the books. What's
the lineman name? Offensive,
right? The guard. Lucas Patrick. They're gonna be dealing with some real, good money. I think you can get Saquon Barkley at a really good, reasonable rate now that the running back position is pretty much bottomed out and nobody's giving them heavy cash. So you can get him at a fair deal. But,
like I said in the pre-show, Jared Payton, Walter Payton's son, actually was hanging out with Barkley last year.
Right.
It's sort of kind of like recruiting him, but once Giants slapped that tag on him, they couldn't do nothing else. So his exit from the Giants, he didn't even go to this exit.
Right.
He told them, they know how to get in contact with me.
Right.
So he don't go back there. You know what I'm saying? He already put it out there. Don't call me. Don't call me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and I don't think they could tag him either. And why would you tag somebody that's like doing it like that now?
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, they could tag him, but I don't know if they want to tag. They don't really tag running backs anymore. So, that's that thing. But I think, like Maurice was saying, and I'll close, the free agency will dictate what they do with the draft pick. Because if they start stacking players on offense, ready now players, they're gonna roll with Justin. They're not gonna, that whole reset the salary cap. That's crap.
And that's that's the part I don't like. You know what I'm saying? As far as the money wise or whatever. You're gonna have to pay a quarterback regardless of the fact. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be now or later. And as long as they go ahead and lock up JJ, I'm good. I mean, I think anything else comes after that, we good. I think they should take care of him first, and then it's gonna be kind of hard because they got to get another edge. You know what I'm saying? Do you draft the edge? But they already got some edge. They got like what? Who's that guy? Is Dexter edge or he a tackle? Dexter.
He's a tackle. Dexter's a tackle and Jones is a tackle. I think Dexter could play the edge. He has the size for it. I don't know if he necessarily has the speed or the drive to do it. Yeah. But I mean, he's good at tackle.
So, and that's what I said. I mean, because it's a lot of edges out there. That's a free agent. You know what I'm saying? The guy from Minnesota. I had his name too. He's 30. I forgot his doggone name. Whatever. I should have wrote these names down. And they keep on bringing up Chase Young because he's a free agent. They were saying they should team him back up with Sweat, and he's still young. He's 24. He was 25.
Well, you got Brian Burns from Carolina.
Yeah,
they had trouble with him. I mean, I doubt it. I know that they won't franchise tag him.
Yeah, it's a lot of edges out there, and like I said, you don't want to. And that's my whole thing with even keeping Fields. You don't want to, because a lot of players talking about Fields, like outside of the Bears, talking how good he is, and you just don't want to mess up that chemistry that he got with his teammates. And then it's easy for them to go out there and recruit players to play. Come on, instead of you let Fields go. Now DJ Moore is like, damn, you know what I'm saying, and everybody else like, man, what are they doing? If you keep everybody intact, you could figure like we could get the players go out there and recruit these guys like the Higgins and stuff like that. Who would want to play with them? You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, Reese, after what we was talking about free agency, who would you like to what angle would you like to see them go in a free agency?
Well, first we got to sign our own free agent, Jalen Johnson.
Yeah.
We got to sign him. So that's got to be a given. You can't let him get away. Even if you got to franchise tag him, but I think it'll be cheaper in the long run just to go ahead and set him to a multi-year deal. Mm-hmm. After that, I'm gonna go with what Terry said. Man, we got to get this offensive line together. No matter who the quarterback is, you go make the quarterback's life a lot easier if you get some legitimate offensive linemen. So yeah, I'm looking at the best left tackle. You know, because once again, Jones. You know, he all right, but I want to upgrade it. You know, who was that free agent we signed last season that didn't play at the beginning of the year and he got hurt all year?
Adams.
Davis.
Yeah. No, he did. Yeah, he didn't. They gave him a veteran's exemption or something like that, where he didn't play or practice because he was a veteran.
Okay. Well, whoever the one, and I think
who was it? You say
it was Adams.
I thought it was Nate Davis.
Yeah, Davis. Yeah, because I think his mother was sick or something. But yeah, I'm not impressed with him. So once again, I want to go offensive, and then on the defensive side, yeah, I would like to get a bookmark with another defensive end. So those would be my three top priorities. You know, our quarterback. Let me get a left tackle, and then a defensive end.
It's Cody Whitehair. That's what I was talking about. That's the one that they gonna let go. You know, so he gonna free up a lot of money too, because he's supposed to make a lot of money next year too. So
he need to go.
Yeah. So Marcus, who? I mean, when the free agents start, what you like to see them attack first?
I gotta agree with you guys. The line, and that's because so much is being made of which quarterback, what direction we're going to go to quarterback. Mm-hmm. It all goes for naught if you don't have a line. You're back at stage one. So you need to upgrade positions on the line, whether it's the left tackle, whether it's the center. You just need to, because you got enough free agent money to focus on good veteran linemen that you can plug in those holes. To where Justin Fields, you don't have to worry about him getting killed, or Caleb Williams, if it be him. He's allowed to develop. And I don't think that you have to expense picks on the line. or vice versa. You decide to use your picks on the line and get
Free
use
agent.
on other positions, and that's kind of like the beauty of this position the Bears are in. Like nothing's really a priority because you have money, you have picks to kind of include a lot or to do what you want to do. Because I've never seen the Bears in this position before. You could do what you want to do, you just have to do it wisely. But if you're asking me, I'm going to plug in this line first because if you look at the O line, if you look at the defense in the last 6 or 7 weeks, they were in the second half when Montez Sweat came. The Bears look like a top 10 defense in the NFL. They were since Montez Sweat came. So you don't that's a little less of a priority than repairing this line. That last game against the Packers, but they both lines were terrible in that game. But Justin Fields was, that actually redirected a lot of people towards, oh man, we need to get Caleb Williams. And that wasn't solely a Justin Fields thing. That was the line. The line and play calling. All those things factored into I don't know about Justin Fields. It even got me feeling some type of way. But the line is priority number one, guys. And that's in spite of whatever direction you feel you want to go, whether it's Caleb Williams, whether it's Justin Fields, whether it's bringing back Ryan Leaf, just whether it's asking one of us to come quarterback for him. Nobody is nothing without a line. And the Bears, and I'll be honest with you, man, the Bears line, O-line, has come a ways from where they used to be.
Yeah,
they're not 2 years ago offensive line. They're not that, but they're nowhere near the upper echelon. And if you have a Super Bowl offense, a Super Bowl defense, you got to concentrate your money, your picks to where your most glaring hole is, and that's the offensive line.
And that's what angle I'm going. I think I attack because this always been me. When you got a quarterback like Justin Fields, you want to try to protect him, and a good players to protect a quarterback to me are veterans offensive line that know the deal, the drills. You know what I'm saying? How to stop those big guys from coming in there. You know what I'm saying? And no tricks of the trade. Get away with holding, and they won't get called for it, opposed to a rookie O-line, you know what I'm saying, get calls for those type of calls, you know what I'm saying? So I think I'll start with the O-line first as well, because you can always get those, and that's the reason I want them to keep Fields, because they could do so much by trading down with picks.
Absolutely.
With that. That's the only reason. They ain't gonna say that's the only reason, but that's one of the reasons why I want them to keep Justin Fields, to get multiple picks along with this year and next year. I mean, they'll be still looking pretty next year too if they get a first round pick for the pick this year. You know what I'm saying? Get a haul like they got from DJ Moore. I mean, looking pretty, man. Regardless, the next 2 years they be looking good. You know, and they ain't gonna need those no high picks in year 3 or next year because they looking that much better. So, but when I'm looking at, and I go with the offensive line first. I always wanted the veteran, and one of the offensive line, like a veteran offensive line, is helping Jones out. So I think he's trying to really push him to be that tackle. I forgot which is it top there. One of them offensive line guys that the Bears used to have is actually been working with Jones. So
that's Ola Cruz.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, he's the one helping him out. So because they asked him what would he do or whatever, he said he still, because he helped him do it out. So he could do it, but they bring somebody in there that's gonna motivate him. And then you need some competition. You don't want anybody to think they got a job hands down. You know what I'm saying? Make them work for it. You know. So and I still think the Bears should draft the quarterback, just not that early. That's just me. I'm not going with Bajan. I mean, Bajan's a good guy. It was a good story, but come on, man.
He doesn't have that zip on it.
Right.
Those 2 games, I was like, man, we don't need Justin.
You both was like that.
I was drinking Kool-Aid, man.
But that third game, I was like, man, Winfield's coming back.
We both were. Yeah, it was. Nah, I mean, he was a Band-Aid for 1 game, maybe 2. You know, but.
I just like I said, I just want them to make the right decision. And we all do want them to make the right decision. And I was before they got sweat, I wanted them to get Chase Young because Chase Young was cool with Fields. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. I think you keep him, you keep the whole vibe in the locker room intact. You know what I'm saying? You don't want nobody to fall off and like, oh man, they took our guy out of here. You know what I'm saying? You just don't want that. You don't want to come in there and thinking like how he gonna act. And from what I understand it is Caleb Williams is a jerk. He's a jerk.
Yeah.
So I mean, do you want that? Do you want him and DJ Moore looking at him like, man, you ain't did nothing? You know what I'm saying? Challenging him. You don't want nobody. You don't want your quarterback to be challenged like he Russell Wilson and stuff like that. It's like he's soft or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Even worse, you don't want him. If Bears right now the third youngest team in the NFL. When they finish dumping some of these guys, they probably move to number 2. So you don't want a guy who's a jerk, who's the youngest guy on the team, you know, leading a bunch of young guys who have no direction, you know, right now.
Yeah. If
he's the loudest voice. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Ted. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say if he's the loudest voice in the room and he's a jerk, you know, that spells doom for a locker room.
I want them, like I said, I want them to get a quarterback, but like I said, not just that early. I just want them to go ahead and do the right thing. You give me that right receiver, man. I think you got to hit a big target, and he fast. So I mean, it ain't kind of hard to come by. I mean, hard to come by. We get a receiver like that. So we'll see. Like I said, the free agent starts before the draft, and that's a good thing. I wish all like basketball did that, with the free agent was first, and then the draft. Because then with the basketball, you drafting off potential. You ain't drafting what you really need. You drafting off potential, you know. But we got another thing right now that they're interviewing defensive coordinators right now. I ain't gonna say the first person they brought in an interview, but he's one of ex-Bear, Chris Harris. I don't know if you guys heard about that, but Chris Harris has been interviewed by the Bears. What are y'all thoughts on him becoming a defensive coordinator if they get him? What y'all think about if he was one of the ones they picked? We'll start with you, Reese.
Yeah, I'm all for it because the way it's set up, Eberflus is basically run the show on the defensive side. So you need somebody that's young that you can start developing, you know. So I like that pick. And so I looked at the list, and man, they got dudes that's like 61 years old that are on that list as well. And I'm like, nah, let's go ahead and let Eberflus do his thing. Let's get a young coordinator that you can develop, because I mean that's one thing that the Bears are missing. It seems like Ryan Pace, his philosophy is continuity. That's why I'm thinking, maybe he'll stick with Justin. But yeah, we can't be in flux. You can't be turning over your leadership every couple of years, because then what your rest of your team go do. So yeah, I like to get someone like him. Because he's a Bear, former Bear. I think that's always good. But just somebody young. None of those old time guys is coming in. You already got an old guy that is a head coach.
Well, out of the people that because they didn't mention him, I thought Rex Ryan would have been good because that whole energy. But would he rub the guys the wrong? His type of style probably would rub young guys the wrong way.
Yeah, that was that 61-year-old I was talking about.
Terry, what you think about Chris Harrison if he gets the job, or what you think about him as being?
Well, Chris, as long as he jibes with what Eberflus is doing, it makes sense. But at the same time, who are we trusting to make this hire? Is it Eberflus or is it Poles? Because Eberflus clearly is not a good judge of character. We could talk about everybody that was just released, but when you lose 3 coordinators, right? It was either 3 or 4 coordinators, in season or right before the season. And these are your hires. Again, that's a red flag. So who's making the hire? Chris Jones. What's his name?
Harris.
Chris Harris. I'm stuck on the fence with it because I'd rather them bring in somebody experienced, but at the same time, you don't want them clashing with what Eberflus is doing. You need to bring somebody in who's familiar with his style, and his play and just plug them in as a coordinator with the understanding that Eberflus is calling.
Right.
You
I mean,
know,
'cause it ain't broke because the defense really not broke.
No, not at all. But to piggyback off what you were saying, I mean, and this goes back, a couple of years with Coach Ryan. I mean, I would love for him to come in, but that'll be a serious clash of Eagles right there. Not to mention, does Ryan want to adjust and use Eberflus's system, or just bring your own system in? I think he'd be great for young guys. I think a lot of the guys that are in the NFL right now, because they watch ESPN, they know exactly who he is. They know exactly what type of energy he brings. They would love that. Yeah, they would love that. But I don't think that, Eberflus would necessarily be, interested in doing that. Gotcha. Because now you bring in a voice that's louder than his.
You're right. What you think, Marcus, about Chris Harris?
First off, Eberflus was calling the plays when the other guy got fired, right? Or got fired. Who was calling the plays?
That was the black guy. That
I thought he got fired. No.
Yeah, he got fired. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. After him, who called the plays?
Yeah.
Oh, it was
Eberflus. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I actually like that, and I know. I mean, it's been done before. However, if the Bears are looking to actually hire a defensive coordinator, I'm gonna try a radical approach. I'm gonna get laughed at. But then again, I was laughed at when I made this analogy, and I'm gonna transcend sports. Do you remember when it was before Steve Nash got hired, and he was on nobody's radar?
Mm-hmm.
Remember I was talking to you about, man, they should hire. Was it somebody? I was like, they should hire Steve Nash. And I even posted in a couple of sports groups. He got laughed at, like ridiculed.
Yeah.
And like, man, Steve Nash he never coached there in his life. And I'm not saying Steve Nash worked out or became Phil Jackson.
Well, he certainly didn't.
Right. but the point was, just, man, take a stab at, just get somebody new and fresh. Like when they got Brad Stevens, Boston got Brad Stevens. He was a kid, but he was the head coach of the most legendary franchise
Boston.
in the NBA.
Right. Because
he was new blood, they just tried something different. So I would say, what the heck? You laugh at it, but give a call to a guy like Warren Sapp, freaking Ray Lewis. Who knows? They might not even be interested in it, but say, hey, we want to talk to you. Here's a blank check. We want you to come to Chicago. We got a defense. Hey.
But Mark, what Terry thinking, they have a bigger mouth than Eberflus. That's his whole thing. They
got a bigger what?
Mouth. They voice to carry more than Eberflus. But
you don't know this yet. We don't know this yet. I think Warren Sapp is actually this guy's heady. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, why not? Why not sit down with these guys and get a philosophy from them? Mm-hmm. They may be like, man, this is what I would do. They may connect with the players. They may get them going. I mean, if you combine them with a guy like Eberflus, who's already defensive minded, I mean, who knows? Because otherwise, these guys, the people that's already out there is a coaching carousel, man. Like, that's just a thought. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
Like, why not, like, ask one of these guys who are Hall of Famers?
Briggs.
You never know what they might say. You know what? Hey, let's go to Chicago. It's known as the defensive team. They might buy into it. We can bring back that Monsters of Midway type thing. I totally see Warren Sapp on the sideline. He might be good, Terry.
Go ahead, Terry. What's your thoughts?
No, I'm not saying that he wouldn't be good, but the Bears have fallen prey to the let's bring in the new with all of these coordinators that have never had any experience, and they've come here and really just fell off the cliff. I mean, you'd have to bring. I mean, for one, Warren Sapp is headed to Colorado.
Yeah,
Ray Lewis is doing his thing with Colorado, his advisory thing. So
what guys like that of that ilk,
what I'm getting
retired, or that you can just that you never had on your radar. It's my real.
I'm with you with that. I would just love to see him with a little bit of experience. Get on somebody's team, be a coordinator, be a linebackers coach or a D-line coach. serve that, pick up some philosophies and understandings, and then do some things where you integrate it while you're on that staff, and then that's how the names circulate on how you become, integrated and become.
Would you say that them being on the field as like captains and guys that got their teammates going? Would you count that as experience?
No,
Because
absolutely, 100.
These guys are field coaches, man. They coach.
And I totally agree with you. And that goes back, and I know this is a Bears conversation, but it goes back to what we were talking about with the Bulls when me and Sid would talk about it. Bring in guys who've proven themselves, who've done that. Teach these young guys how to play. There's no more teaching. It's just draft these guys, put them out there, call them bust if they don't work out. It's like teaching has went away. There's no more teaching. There's no more schooling.
It's self. Everybody for self. Ain't no more Kobe Bryant. No more Kobe Bryant. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. There's no reason why the Bears shouldn't have all these great guys who've come through their system, who've played for them, who've become Hall of Famers, and not have them in the building helping out these linebackers. There's no reason in the world Mike Singletary should be sitting at home requesting an interview as a defensive coordinator. Briggs, he's put it out there. So,
if I can interject,
here we go.
Absolutely.
Here we go.
Not Mike Singletary. I
just use him as an example.
Yeah, I know. Let me debunk that though. I wondered why he didn't work out in 49ers, and I had 2 personal encounters with this dude on my job, and he's a jerk. He's a jerk to me. Like when I met him, I wasn't fanning. I met him because of my job, and I was trying to do my job, and even his wife was like, he was such a jerk. His wife was like, "I'm so sorry. Don't mind him. He's groggy. He got off the airplane." She just tried to make up an excuse for him as her husband. So I said to myself, I should have said to him, "That's why you got fired for 49ers." Because he had that mentality coming into 49ers, like, you're gonna do what I say. He didn't know how to develop people. He's like, okay, this is what we did on the Bears. You're gonna do this. He didn't know how to get them there. So he wasn't a people's person. So
can't do it.
Everything. This guy's a straight out jerk, man.
I can't do it.
Jerk, man.
Can't do it.
No, I've had a couple of times like, man, I want to say something like, "What? Stay right there." I'm walking around this counter. Not him. But
can't do it.
I get your point. Like, we got Hall of Fame guys that should be invited, and
I think one person that I think he liked what he's doing as an analyst, but I think he would. I think Lance Briggs would be good to be on that bench type of coach, just seeing how things works. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he know how it works, but he know how it works as a player, but as a coach, I think he could get schooling on that level. But that's why I said
he comes up each year.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, he's actually coaching now. On the show he talked about how Briggs coaches youth. So he's definitely has the desire to coach. Yeah. But I think, listen to this conversation, I'm leaning more toward Chris Harris now because he's embodying everything that we just talked about.
Exactly.
The history with the Bears, and he actually has experience, in the NFL. So I think that would be a good match.
He's not been a defensive coach. He's been like everything else, like safety coach and stuff like that. I think he's been doing mostly that type. He haven't been play calling coach.
Yeah, I'm saying even if it's go play call. So that's what I'm saying. I want somebody that's young that's going to develop, but he's been in the game. It's not like you go pull somebody off the street where, if he felt like, oh, well, you got somebody off the street. At least he has some pedigree in the NFL, and he's been trying to work his way up through the NFL coaching ranks. So.
And that actually be good for Eagleflue, because I think for the people that they just hired as far as the offensive coordinator, I don't think he's next in line to take over if it doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? I think they probably go a whole new. It's not like that. Shane would be the next guy if Eagleflue doesn't work. To step up. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that. I don't think Chris Harris, if they hire him, will be taking. They'll get a whole. Supposed to be fired if this don't work. Because you got to think about it. This is a big decision this guy has to make from the quarterback and the free agency and stuff like that, and signing Jalen Johnson too. He got a lot of stuff on his plate. A lot.
I would say this is probably the most important draft of our time.
Yeah.
Would you guys say that?
Agree? Oh, definitely.
If you look at even through the Jay Cutler era, you had a bunch of offensive coordinators, and we wasn't trying to replace Jay Cutler. We was trying to get the coaching situation right. Now, I think it was some crazy stat where the Bears are the first team to have 2 consecutive #1 picks since like the Browns did it and not too long ago. But prior to that, it was like 60 years that that's ever happened. So now you have an opportunity to right a lot of wrongs. You got draft picks galore. You got free agency galore. You got all this cap space, and I just hope for the sake of Ryan Poles that he just don't fumble it.
Yeah.
This draft, this summer, this offseason is so important for the Chicago Bears. I have not seen one this important in my lifetime. When we were younger, we dominated the Central Division is what it was called back then. Right. We dominated the Central Division in the 80s. The 90s, we contended. Brett Favre came along. The Packers won the division. But now, like, you have an opportunity because this division is tough now. I think effectively the Vikings fall, in my opinion, the Vikings head up the rear. Like Detroit, they're good. Green Bay, they'll be there the next 7 to 8 years. We have an opportunity to be right there with all the stock and capital that we have and free agency cash and money and the same thing, or picks. We have an opportunity to be right there, man. So I would say this is the most important offseason that we have that I can remember.
People could say that.
Add this.
Go ahead.
To piggyback off what Mark was saying, most important draft in our lifetime, go back to 1982-83. For that 85 Bears team, that was that pivotal time. Those were those 2 pivotal years, and you look at the players that they picked up from that point. And I agree. When I add that to agree with you, if they make the right choices over the next 2 drafts, that could truly set them up, to become a dynasty.
Yeah. And that's why I said that's why I want them to trade that pick and get multiple, because they could actually get a first round pick next year. Because you think about it, and I tried to bring this up last time we was talking. Let's say, for instance, they get that pick to Washington or who's it? Washington or New England. New England. If neither one of those, if they get a first round pick for next year, the Bears will be in the top 5 again next year, because them 2 teams are not going to do nothing next year, just like the Carolina Panthers. So you got a chance to get actually good picks next year if they trade that pick this year. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I was trying to say last week. I probably didn't say it, it probably didn't come out right, but those 2 teams, it's not like they get Caleb Williams and they about to run away with that division and have a big season. They still in a growing stage. So you still can have a good top 5, top 10, top 5 pick next year. If you get a #1 pick next year too, it can happen though. I mean, it probably won't be. I mean, the Panthers still be sucking or whatever. So it'll be battle of who go suck the most. Pause. But
yeah, but that's why I'm a big fan of trading that pick, because of the fact that you just give yourself more bites at the apple by trading that pick. Once again, the worst thing that you can happen, you use the #1 pick on Caleb, he'll bust, and everything just rolls down the drain from there.
So we're back on the Fields wagon now. Is that what we're saying?
For that reason, I'm risk adverse. Risk adverse.
I never left, man. I mean, it's just that I want them to keep that pick and get that wide receiver, because like I said, and since I've been a Bear fan, I never saw them draft a talented. Well, they were supposed to be talented, but they came out to be bust. But an actual talent that you see coming through the door, being that guy, because that dude what was that guy named White, who they drafted?
The receiver. Kevin White.
Yeah,
man.
He couldn't stay healthy. Man. Stay on the field, man. Terry, are you on that Fields train?
From at first I wasn't, and then I saw the big picture and realized that everybody can pass blame, but nobody points the finger at the coordinator or the coach for not developing this guy. I mean, Justin Fields has every single attribute to make him a great quarterback. He has size, good arm, he can run, and it is extremely intelligent and young. You have to ask yourself, what's going on and why, if he's a problem, why didn't the coordinator say that he was a problem? Why didn't he go to the coach and say, hey, this guy's not getting it. He's gone in the head. Everything that comes out is he's a great talent. He can do this. He can make all the throws. So now you got to sit everybody in the room and say, well, what's going on? Because if he's this great talent and he has all of that, why isn't it being replicated on the field? What is it the coaching or is it him? And everybody's pointing to, well, he's a great coach. He's a great player. Now, somewhere there's something going on. But to answer your question, I'm with Fields because I think that you can get, even if Fields isn't the guy, if you trade the pick, you can get more to surround him and make him become the guy. Because every quarterback that wins Super Bowl isn't an elite quarterback.
Right.
Everybody isn't a Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes. Everybody else is, kind of fits in there and does what they need to do to help their team win. So all that generational talk, don't give me that. Give me players around him that make plays and help him win. Because last time I checked, it's a team sport.
And I don't want to
quarterback.
Right. And I don't want to get the yoke in my face because I've been pushing for Fields, and Marcus said it. He said, yeah, I'm gonna look. Him and Ryan said, I'm gonna look real kind of crazy if they go to another route. And
but I feel your point, but I'm still on that. Like you just said, Terry. Like whether it's whoever it is, get the players around them to be better. Yeah. I'm with the guy who's gonna have the best tools.
Yeah, and my thing is, because here's my thing. If it wasn't Fields, if Fields was the problem, why did you get rid of the offensive coordinator? Why did you just say we gonna keep? We like his coaching. We like what he was trying to do. Fields just didn't fit. So why they just didn't keep Luke Gessie and say we're gonna go this route? You know what I'm saying? We're gonna bring in Caleb. You know what I'm saying? So evidently they didn't like what his philosophy and his offensive calling because they let him go.
After 8 screen passes, I mean, goodness gracious.
You see, that takes me back to what I said earlier. I did some research and I look at Caleb's highlight films. I'm looking at his film. I'm saying, what did he do that Justin didn't do, but Justin is doing against NFL talent?
That part right there.
And it's faster.
That's the point.
And it's faster.
They were saying that Caleb may not even be 6 foot. They're wondering and taking bets whether he's going to actually measure at 6 foot in the combine.
Wow.
Well, he won't even attend the combine. You can forget about that.
Right. Yeah.
He probably won't even do a pro day.
Yeah. But you'll get measured eventually. Somebody will measure.
But guys, you all make, whether it's devil or not, you guys make great points. You are not wrong. But just what if Caleb Williams is the next freaking Mahomes?
You can say that
team again.
But
man.
you can say that though.
Not even Patrick Mahomes. What if he's just good? I don't want to be that team again.
Let me throw this out there. What if he's the next Dan Marino?
Well, at least we don't have the moniker of passing up on good quarterbacks. At least we don't have that. He could be the next Dan Marino. He got you to a Super Bowl. He got you to
I say that to say that. What if all you get out of drafting him is a lost Super Bowl, and no other conference championships, nothing else, but just great numbers and great stats that don't do anything.
I've consistently said, and you're right. But for every question that was asked about what if Caleb Williams was not this, you legit can ask the same thing about Justin Fields. Well, what if we do keep Justin Fields? What if you get some people around him and he still just don't pay? There's no reason to think that anything else from here in this point is going to be automatic. Justin Fields.
Yeah.
You can actually ask, and I'm given his resume, you can actually say that Fields might not pan out. And this takes me back to our conversation last week. I'm not smarter than Ryan Poles. I haven't seen what these guys wake up and eat for breakfast, their whole regimen through the day, how many times they running, working out. Ryan Poles he has people designated to do that. And he is the one that's going to say, I'm going to go with Caleb Williams because I think long term he'll be better. than Fields. I'm just in the middle. You got to look at both sides. That's all I'm saying. You got to look at both sides, man. I just don't want to be the.
Wait, you know what?
Having a good quarterback, man.
Wait, but you think about this. I mean, we saying that, but what happened if Marvin Harris Jr. be that stud that you like? Damn, like we had the chance to get Randy Moss that year, but because his
David
off the
Terrell.
field, his off the field ethics or whatever. No, they go back to that, man.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got a point. That's why, man. That's why I said this is the most important. Takes me back to that. This is the most important draft or off season that we have, because just said if we could mess around and not get Marvin Harrison, he could be that best receiver in the league.
If Marvin Harrison, because they I guess they're making a deal that wide receivers don't go first, don't get picked first. It's like
a structured draft.
I thought you drafted. Yeah, I mean, because they said having a wide receiver have been a first pick in like years. You're
saying like the NFL is implementing the hierarchy of drafts, like quarterbacks have to go first, and then like how would that work? What if teams don't need a quarterback? What if teams don't need?
They usually trade them just like the Bears did. You know what I'm saying? They usually trade it. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I said, and that's what they said. They said if it wasn't for that, he would be the first pick because they say he's the best pick in the draft. But nobody picks a wide receiver first. That's the whole thing. Because, I mean, I don't know why, but you could just get so much for that pick because everybody need a quarterback every year. Every year.
Maybe the Bears grab him because we got our quarterback. I don't know.
Keyshawn Johnson was the last receiver taken first overall, 1996.
Wow.
Let me ask this question to you guys. So let's say we trade the number 1 pick and Caleb becomes a generational quarterback. But because of the talent we surround Justin with, he ended up winning the Super Bowl too. Are we mad?
No, Super Bowl
at all.
Okay. That's what it's about, winning the Super Bowl. That's all. It's about winning the Super Bowl. You win one Super Bowl, you got this city. You got the city. You know what I'm saying? And because you guys said it, they still got a young team. So it's not like a one and out like they did in '85 because they broke up the team. You got rookie that's still on the contract. When the Bears won, they had broke up that team like about 1 or 2 years afterwards. Right. They get a chance to repeat.
I just learned that.
No, actually, they started what's his name? McCaskey. Michael McCaskey started breaking that team up in '85. Todd Bell and Al Harris held out because he didn't want to pay them. And Richard Dent was going to hold out. He was a free agent also. This was before free agency.
Okay.
So he opted to play. Wow. So Michael McCaskey started busting that team up even in the Super Bowl year.
Wow. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. But the way this team is set up right now, there's no only free agent that we don't want to lose is Jalen Johnson.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody else is under contract. So like you said, they're in the best position, but the most important season or that the Bears has ever been to me. Like I said, since I've been watching the Bears, I've never seen a transaction like this going on ever.
I just
have you focus.
You were saying, Terry, the Bears are the 3rd youngest team. And you look at their offense, if they get Saquon Barkley, I just learned that Saquon Barkley, Mooney, and DJ Moore are all 26. Just 26.
Well, Mooney's gone.
Fields is 24. Well, 26 still, but if you but still, he's 26 nonetheless.
Yeah. No, young guy, young.
Justin Fields is 24 years old. Like, these guys are young.
Yeah, and that's what I said. And they still be under contract. It's not like they like you just said, Mikowski. You start breaking up the team with him. It's hard to break up a team when they under contract and they playing and they winning. Even though the Bears is winning, Buddy Ryan was the first one to actually leave. Though that kind of messed up the whole thing right there. Because once he left, who was that offensive coordinator? I mean, defensive coordinator.
Vince Tobin.
Vince Tobin.
Come on, man.
Actually, he was pretty good. Vince Tobin was actually a good coordinator.
Yeah, he was a good coordinator, but that's something that we didn't want to see. We want a Buddy Ryan, you know.
They're still winning 13, 14 games a year after he left.
But we just wanted to. But we had a 46 no more. You know, the 46 just didn't look right without Buddy Ryan there.
Who's our quarterback after McMahon? Was it Harbaugh? Or
nope. Tom Zach.
Number 13.
Mike Tom
Little
Zach.
number 13.
But Jerry know his. I mean, Terry know his stuff. Whatever. He know his stuff.
Mike Tom Zach.
But I don't know. I just think they got a young team that's not going to be broken up anytime soon. And if they keep everything intact, I mean, like they can ride it out and be one of those teams. Like I don't want to say Dallas Cowboys, but Dallas Cowboys always is mentioning, or better yet, New England Patriots type of. You know, that's always mentioned that could make a big run in the playoff or whatever. They could be that team if they keep everything intact. Now, the last thing we're going to talk about is Saquon Barkley. We're almost done with this. Your thoughts on that? Because I've been pushing to get him since last year. I mean, I want them to get him last year. But if he's 26, and Terry, you said Higgins is 26 too. If they don't keep Mooney,
right?
Higgins is 26 too, right?
I think he's younger than that.
24.
Let's see.
And I think he's not going to cost that much because I mean he had a down season this year because he was hurt or whatever. But you got two big guys, Higgins, and if you get Harrison Jr.
T. Higgins is 25.
Still, man, that's crazy. And to think about the oldest person to be on their team, really, to me, they'd be playing it would be Sweat, and he's like 28 or something like that. Right. Oh man!
What, did y'all know Tom Zach was from here?
Mike Tom
That
Zach?
I didn't know.
Crazy tidbit. Yep, from Cal City, and he went to
wow.
TF North before going to Ohio State. I just had to
Wow.
do a little digging on that. I didn't know that, man.
I don't either.
I didn't know that either.
Wow.
So he was right around us. He wasn't far from
I know,
us.
right?
Right.
Yeah. But
Wow.
the Saquon Barkley, what you guys think about a pickup? Because we got running backs now, but I still take Saquon. I mean, but what's your thoughts on that? Let's go with you, Reese. Go with you first. Terry, I know you got a last. We're gonna let you rant off and get your rocks off because you say you had a lot to say. So, but we're gonna start with this with Saquon Barkley. Reese, what you think about him if the Bears pick him up? What you think? What's your thoughts?
Oh man, I like that. I like that because I was just thinking, what would the Bears had looked like this year if they still had Montgomery? You know, so yeah, getting an established running back who can carry the load will take the pressure off Justin, or if we drop the quarterback. So, because we still play in the Midwest and it's wintertime here, so you still need a good running game. So I think he would help us establish a really good running game. So I like that pickup.
Marcus, because you brought up Saquon Barkley early before we got to the topic or whatever, but I knew we was gonna get to it. So, what's your thoughts on Barkley?
He would be a weapon of mass destruction if he were to come here. However, and since the Bears were number 2 in the league in rushing as a team, I don't think he is necessary to spend the money on, in my opinion. I mean, if we got him, then we'd have less money to go around in other needier
Areas.
places. Yeah, areas. Again, the Bears were number 2, and behind the Ravens in rushing. What is it? 534 rushing attempts. 2,390, 1 yard away from 3,000 rushing yards as a team.
Wow.
4.5 rushing yards carry. This is on average.
What a bad old line.
Yeah, it was almost reminiscent of Walter Payton.
Right.
That line. So the point is, the question is, do we need Saquon Barkley? It's good to have him, but do we need him with that stat line? It's a legit question. Do we need Saquon Barkley? Just because he may become a bigger name as free agency moves forward, Do we need Saquon Barkley? That's the question to me. There's no doubt. And then, can he stay healthy? That's the thing. Can he stay healthy? He's young enough. Can he stay healthy? But do we need him? And does he stay healthy? I say no to the first one. And the second question, I don't know if he can stay healthy. So that's my answer.
I think because they got a decent Rashawn Johnson or whatever. I think by him being on the team, and he's good too, to learn from Saquon Barkley, and you platooning them back and forth. I don't think, well, anybody could get hurt or whatever, but I don't think it's not that much pressure on Barkley because if you get Morrison Harris Jr. and DJ Moore, it's not. That's just going to that'd be crazy because it's not a lot of pressure. He's not taking a lot of load.
Greatest,
you know what I'm saying?
New turf,
right?
Yes, turf.
And then you still got
turf.
you still got Fields that can actually make some plays too. So all the pressure is not on Barkley, whatever. So I'm Terry, I've been advocating for that for like a while or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So if it happens, it's good. And I think if they keep Justin Fields intact, I think they're gonna recruit. I think they're gonna recruit him. Because he's the first running back name that came up from what I'm watching Twitter that's linked to the Bears. I don't hear no other running back being linked nowhere else, but he's been linked to the Bears for 2 years now. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully there's something to it. Terry, your turn.
This is a two-parter, and I'll jump on what Marcus was saying. Do we need him? Of course, they don't need him, but what it signals is the Bears are ready to win right now. If you go out and you sign a Saquon Barkley, that means that you're willing to win now. It means also that you're going to stick with Justin Fields and not go down the rabbit hole and draft Caleb Williams. That's that part that excites me a little bit, because the better players that you spend your money on, it signals the flag that we're ready to run right now. Yeah. Which means you have to go out and you have to do other moves, which means you trade back and you pick up a Marvin Harrison Jr. It means you go out and you get another tight end to pair with Kmet. It means you go out and you get the big receiver to pair with DJ Moore, with the understanding that Marvin Harrison Jr. is a rookie and he'll go through those rookie pains, but he's still a weapon out there.
Yeah.
So I think that it's, of course, they don't need the running back, but that just signals that they're ready to win. And I would love to see Saquon and Roshan and Khalil Herbert, in the same backfield, along with Justin Fields. You put those four back there. I mean, you talk about weapons. Picking your poison. Exactly. You talk about weapons and picking your poison. You paired that with the tackle and a center. Now you have to pick that whole cliche. Pick your poison now.
You're not double teaming nobody.
Exactly. The play action pass becomes their biggest weapon at that point. I mean, how do you stop it?
Absolutely. Quick question. Do you think it could signal that they're moving away from Justin Fields just based by the fact that they are drafting a running back and they're going to get Caleb Williams to kind of supplement for the running
it could absolutely
would provide?
Yeah, it absolutely could go both ways, especially with the coordinator hire. I mean, the coordinator is a ground attack guy. He's worked with ground attack, quarterbacks with Russell Wilson and pocket guys like, what's his name? Goodness gracious, why can't I remember this man? Geno Smith and Alex Smith also, because he coached Alex Smith also.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, so, I mean, the coordinator, I mean, that's one of those gray areas because you can't judge on which way they're going with it. If they would have hired Cliff Kingsbury, that would have given you a little bit more insight. But if they go with Saquon Barkley, I mean, I honestly think that they keep Justin to pair, with what they already have.
We got 2.5 months, 3 months for that. Now, Terry.
Yeah.
What you got? I'm gonna give you the flow. What you got? Because
you know what? We kind of covered everything.
Okay.
I didn't have to vent because my whole thing was, this whole quarterback talk. And what brought that, when I saw that and I said I had a whole lot to say, it was because of Mel Kiper and his 1.0 mock drafts and how many failed mock drafts this man has had. Even Cowherd, that dude got on my nerves because this dude, he bashes. I mean, it's just like they get a chance, to just bash guys. They just bash them for no apparent reason. And there's nothing to justify their opinion. Now, our opinions are what they are. But it's taken out of context sometimes and putting a whole lot on it, a whole lot more on it that needs to be on it with certain people. And I just can't understand how these guys still have credibility because, again, going to Mel Kiper, if you go over and I challenge y'all to do that, go over the years of Mel Kiper's drafts and look at the guys that he rates. I mean, Mitch Trubisky, he graded higher than Patrick Mahomes and Watson. I mean, that alone tells you something. And I mean, Ryan Leaf, over Peyton Manning. I mean, this guy, he thought Rick Meyer was the next Joe Montana. I mean, it's crazy. This guy's, his analyzations. And I mean, it's like, stop it. We need to stop it and let these GMs do what they do because it just seems like there's so much influence over Chicago, football right now. Everybody's chiming in saying what the Bears will do, not what they should do, what they will do.
Yeah.
Sylvie, that guy, I've learned to hate this dude for real because he's just a little whiner. I mean, you can be a fan and an analyst, but it's like he puts it all in one, and it's like he just goes with the wind.
I think a lot of these guys, and I used to watch that TV show that used to be on cable. With Dwayne Johnson, I think it's called something about, was it Rookie or not Rookie?
Oh no, that's Players, not Players. It was an HBO show, right? About the NFL.
Right. When you got agents paying these analysts to say certain things to build up their clients, that's what's going on. That's what's going on. And I told this to one of the other groups, and I think I told you, Marcus, as long as they keep on building up Caleb Williams, it helps the Bears out to get more for that pick.
And our question,
because the more they say he's the generation quarterback, he's this, he's that, that's going to motivate the Bears to say, okay, we could raise up the price then. Even if they didn't want to get him, they're going to raise up the price. Washington go give up an arm and a leg to get this guy. Any team, you know what I'm saying?
But here's the problem with that. Again, going back to Mel Kiper Jr., now all of a sudden, the LSU quarterback is now ranked second behind Caleb Williams. I can't remember. Let me see his name.
Daniels?
Is it Daniel? Whatever, the LSU quarterback. I'd say
Jalen Daniels, I think. He won Heisman?
Yep. Jaden Daniels.
Okay, Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, so he has Caleb Williams 1, Jaden Daniels 2, and Drake May 3. And Marvin Harrison going 4.
So May dropping because he was 2 at first.
With the point with that now is that
these guys going out. I think he's more keen on making sure he get the picks right. I don't think he cares about if they're successful or not once they get picked. I think he just wants
and that's the whole thing. He's he can't influence a smart GM, but you put all of this out there to say that this guy is better than this guy, and fans, they lean on that. They say, hey, why didn't we take this guy? Why didn't we take that guy? And it's like, no, just let the GMs, because like you said, Marcus, they're a lot smarter than us. But you would think a guy like Mel Kiper, who only watches college football, would be smarter than them because that's his job. That's the only thing that he does. And he strikes out more than anybody I've ever seen in my life. This guy has a job as an analyst.
That's what I tell people, like, that's like that's just like I say, like the weatherman is the only job you can have. You could be right 50% of the time and still keep a job.
Right.
50% of the time it's gonna rain and it don't rain, but you still keep your job. Like, come on, man. That's crazy. That's crazy. But what we're gonna do, we're gonna end up cap it off right there. I mean, any last words you got to say? Because like I said, I think we're not gonna tighten this up, but I really don't want to talk about Bears no more until maybe they hired a defensive coordinator, which won't be a big deal because we already got defensive coordinator with Eagleflus or whatever. But I think the next big thing for the Bears really would be free agency. You know what I'm saying? And I think after the Super Bowl is over with, that's when you start hearing about the free agency. I think that's what we'll come back on that. Now, if you guys want to, we could get into the Bulls talk, you know what I'm saying? Next week or the week after, whatever y'all want to do, because it's coming down to that trading deadline now. You know what I'm saying? With I don't think they're gonna move. I don't think it's gonna be no movement. Me personally, I don't think it's gonna be no movement. But I want to talk about the Bulls whenever you guys are up to it.
Oh, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Maybe Zach will be healthy by the end.
Hey,
He's healthy.
hey.
He's being held out until further notice until that trade goes down.
It's a Bulls. I mean, a bad segment, but I mean, it's a lot of stuff going on because you got your guy from the LA Clippers, Russell, D'Angelo Russell. He's crying on the sideline, like what's going on? Like he know he's about to get traded or something. What's going on?
Well, he out there balling out right now.
Oh yeah, he's showing his stuff now.
Yeah.
LeBron James sitting out again tonight, and they're losing.
He ain't played since his son hit his head on that damn board.
Goofy. That was goofy.
Hey, but like I said, we can talk about this. I mean, like I said, whatever you guys got time, whatever, we're gonna come back again. We're gonna do this again, man. I appreciate you guys coming on. We're about to sign off. Bad down.
All right, fellas, thanks for having me.
Yes, sir.